The boy who spoke to birds. In a quiet village surrounded by golden grasslands, where the wind whispered secrets and the sun painted the world in warm light, there lived a boy named Kwesi. He was not like the other children. While the boys of the village wrestled in the dust and practiced with spears, Kwesi would sit alone beneath the old baobab tree, his eyes to the sky, his lips moving softly. He was speaking to the birds. Bright yellow weavers, blue kingfishers, and tiny brown sparrows would gather around him as if they understood his words. The villagers laughed and shook their heads. "There goes bird boy again," they would say. Even Kwesi's father, a proud hunter, scowled when he saw his son sitting so still. "A man must fight. A man must make noise," he would say. But Kwesi only smiled and listened, to the wind, to the trees, and to the soft flutter of wings. Then one day, the songs of the birds vanished. The mornings were silent. The branches empty. And soon, the river shrank to a trickle, the grass turned brown, and the earth cracked beneath the burning sun. The crops withered. The animals fled. Fear gripped the village, and the elders whispered of curses and angry spirits. One night, as the village slept under a pale moon, Kwesi awoke to the sound of wings. He ran outside and saw flocks of strange birds streaking across the sky, their wingtips glowing like silver under the moonlight. They cried out in voices only he could understand. They told him of a blockage far to the north, where the river had been trapped behind a wall of logs and stone. The next morning, the village gathered in despair around the dying fire. The chief spoke of sacrifices and prayers to unseen spirits. But Kwesi stepped forward, his voice calm. "The river is not cursed," he said. "It is trapped. The birds have shown me the way." There was laughter. Disbelief. But one elder, wise Nana Abina, nodded. "Then let the boy lead," she said. So Kwesi did. With the sun beating down on cracked earth, he walked ahead of warriors and elders, following the paths the birds revealed. He read the signs they left in the wind, in the patterns of their flight, in the feathers scattered on the ground. Days passed, and hope flickered in the hearts of those behind him. At last, they reached it, a great dam of logs and stone blocking the river's path. Behind it, the water glimmered, still and trapped, longing to run free. A foreign tribe stood guard on the dam, surprised by the arrival of strangers. Kwesi stepped forward alone, his small figure reflected in the quiet water. He spoke, not with anger or demand, but with truth. He explained how the land was dying, how the birds had carried his people's grief to the sky. The dam builders listened, understanding at last what they had caused. Together, they opened the way. The river burst forth with a roar, tumbling over rocks and rushing back toward the village. Children laughed and splashed in the water, birds swirled in the sky like ribbons of color, and the earth drank deeply. Crops turned green. Life returned. On the riverbank, Kwesi stood in the soft light of dawn, watching the sun rise over his home. He was no longer bird boy. He was Kwesi, the listener. Kwesi, the guide. Kwesi, the boy who spoke to birds. And from that day forward, the village taught its children that there is power not only in shouting, but in silence. Not only in striking, but in seeing. And sometimes, the word speaks, not through men, but through wings.